Welcome to the Time Experience. Thank you for joining us. Happy to have you today.
Hello, thank you so much, Satyam, for inviting me. I'm very glad to join this session.
I'll let you introduce yourself to our audience. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Mihir Sanghai. I'm studying in final year at B.Tech at Computer Engineering at MIT ADT University. We are Defense Force Industries Private Limited. We are a deep tech startup. We make nano surveillance drones and we make suicide drones for the borders. So we work with Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, Special Forces.
Most of the
Yeah.
students who are in college right now are either behind a brand name of a company or behind a big paycheck. But there are still some students who want to do entrepreneurship, but they are not clear about how do they proceed. They have an idea, they
Okay.
are working on it, but they don't know the steps. So what are the ABC of starting a startup?
Before starting a startup, you should know what do you exactly want to do, what kind of problem you want to solve. Because startup don't go behind things that are already being done. They innovate something. If they don't innovate something, they educate, empower, or entertain. So you need to solve some problem. You need to understand how do you commercialize that problem, and then you actually start a decision that this decision might change little bit, but you won't divert from your track. Once your mindset is completely that you will be able to go in a straight line in this direction, then you go and start a startup. A very simple way to start a startup legally is register a company. Most probably you should register a private limited because that will give you more bandwidth in terms of going forward rather than an LLP. Then you simply go to Startup India portal, you register as a startup, and you will officially have a certificate from Government of India. Then you can start availing more and more schemes. This is the legal way to do. You might need to sacrifice a lot of things, and you might need to understand that first 2 to 3 years are going to be very tough because the problem you are solving is a unique journey depending on what kind of skill set you have and what kind of area are you sitting in. For example, you need to start with a simple desirability study. Whatever solution am I making, is it desirable enough that it would go and people would ask for this solution? Then you need to study feasibility, that how feasible is this solution. Then you check your area around, is this possible in this area, what kind of resources I need, what kind of money I need. That is feasibility study. Is it feasible for you to make? Then you go for viability. इतना सब कुछ मेहनत करके are you earning enough that you can solve 3 more problems by earning from one solution? That is the primary thing that comes into play when you actually go for making startups. Then you go for sustainability. How sustainable is this business? How much impact is it doing on the world? Is it good or is it bad? Is it matching the policies of the government? Won't they stop you in the future?
You said you have to make a lot of sacrifices once you start this journey of a startup. So can you talk about what kind of sacrifices one can expect to make when they are starting this journey?
It completely depends on your problem statement, what you're solving. If you're making a hardware startup, yes, you'll start sacrificing a lot of funds that your parents might send you initially if you are funding it yourself. Second thing is you'll start sacrificing the time that you conventionally give in doing time pass, basically moving out for no reason. Your life will start getting more articulate. Like you need to understand कि ये goal है, ये achieve करना है, ये timelines है, you need to sit here. Then you might also need to sacrifice a lot of friends. You might also need to sacrifice a lot of family meets if you are in the zone of security or in terms of defense. You might not be able to meet your people very well. The biggest sacrifice that I am making, I feel, is in my sleep schedule.
How do you distract yourself or disengage with cheap sources of dopamine? A lot of students and a lot of youth, they are engaged in, like you said, 10 minutes of scrolling would break the mindset, break that mindset of high standards. Then how do you keep fighting the battle of high standard? How do you avoid cheap sources of dopamine?
So in your journey, let's say you started a year ago, you know where you are at point A, you know where you are at right now is the point B, which is continuously moving in present tense. And you know there is going to be point C according to your milestones. There might be some milestones that were achieved very before than planned, or some uncertainty happened and you got a good boost. Okay. So let's say for going into Pokhran at the nuclear test site, let's say for going into a military exercise, which was 10 times bigger than what the Prime Minister actually had. Those were dream come true for people like us that we started a year ago, and the military is allowing us to do this. Imagining what is better in future, not procrastinating. Imagining what you making right now will be delivered in future and what it might be making. The dreams and flashes which comes in your face when you close your eyes or your eyes are open and you see something that what is this capable of rather than what I built a year ago. Those small flashes like they shows in the movies will keep you alive if you are making something on your own. That is the primary source of dopamine for me if I want to replace something. Instead of staying away from these apps, what you could do is you could limit yourselves, you could limit your following and follow the things you want, which will actually help you in your motivational things.
What is your message to the students who are not yet clear about what they like to study or what they want to do in the future? How do they filter out that?
The method I used after studying two, three things. The first thing was spiritual, let's say being spiritual, learning from the gurus and everyone who were actually logical rather than delusional. Then two, three things actually made me question myself after a lot of meditation for hours. First thing I started researching was what are the phases of work? Like what kind of work phase do you expect from your life? Let's say you start at 25, 26, you retire at 30, 60. If you want to retire at 30, it means that you should have everything solved in 5 to 6 years. Okay, that's not possible for me. So, how do I actually start? So, I started with recalling the memories which were giving me first glimpses of what I wanted to choose. Before, like, let's say a kid is born and first 5 years, it is nothing but learning languages, learning the way of this world, learning the way basically your parents teach and all. What was the point of time in my life where the word career was introduced? If I don't remember, let me study the basic human knowledge where it was introduced. Asking parents maybe because they might have a better memory than me because I was still learning. I actually started understanding at the age of 7, the starting point of my puberty, before someone else could manipulate me. Let's say because of hormonal reasons, let's say because of too much understanding. That point was very easy for me to do many things. For example, I would just break my toys to understand what is inside them. I would actually start breaking more things just to understand what is inside them. And luckily, my parents did support that. They installed the channels on TV which would actually teach me how it's made and everything. So, before manipulation, that you need to become a pilot. You need to become a superstar. You need to start becoming this, start becoming that. What was I good as a uneducated kid, as a unmanipulated person? What things were easy for me to do before the world or my parents could tell me कि ये cool है, ये मत करो, वो मत करो. What things was I good at? I was good at breaking things and making better things out of them. I was good at understanding and solving problems. So that skill set I found in myself. Those particular skill set I wrote down. There were more than 7. So I filtered out what was the best version where I could take least efforts and I could get more output. But
How do you find the mentors in your life, the good mentors or the right mentors? How do you find them or build the connection with them?
you can meet many people who you might choose as a mentor. They might choose to mentee you, but the person who sees himself as a future in you, or you might look up to in a future that, okay, this is the thing I need to do, and this person might get it done. But you empathize with them as your own self, are the people, are the right people. One of my faculty members mailed in my report of the rover I was mentioning earlier. He was absolutely very happy that I could do it in a very young age, that too with all the objects that were made at home. Let's say making a Faraday cage out of which are set at your home, maybe making an automated rover system which could go 6 kilometers, take soil samples in COVID and come back. He was not focusing on that. He was focusing on if I would be at this person's place and what would be the best for me. He asked me a simple question. What is the thing you want in ISRO to do in terms of rover? I said, make an entire good rover. He said, no, you need to do a very specific thing. That's very hard to do by a person. You need to do one single thing. I was not, for a month I kept blathering. But since he explained me in my language, he understood, okay, this person is not built for like making one part of a rover. He said, okay, go build an entire drone. He understood me, empathized himself in me, and then took the decision. So I found out this is the right person. Second thing, they might not expect anything very monetary from you. A person who expects some very good monetary gains from you, who wants to ride the wave you are going to start in, is not your good mentor. And trust me, 60% of your college professors will do that with you. Stay away. You will not get the intentions in 1 week, 1 month, but in long term, you'll understand what this happens. They might quit if you don't give them what they want. Yeah.
So thank you for that answer. So from the schedule that you have, it seems like, just like you said, you have 5 people that you talk to, you have 5 set of people you talk to. So you must be getting a lot of pressure from your friends as well about hanging out, going out on Saturdays. How do you handle that pressure? What's your answer to them?
This was in the beginning phases of life that, okay, this little bit of clarity is fine for me. Then I started connecting to more people like that. So I started understanding more person. When I started working and when my team started working, I was very clear within a month. Let's say if you don't go for college a month, I will tell you this. This is specifically important for the students to understand. If you don't go to college for a week, 10 people will call you, ask you, is your health okay? Why are you not here? Maybe two of them might be from your institution because your attendance is high or low. That might be depending on 8 people who care for you. You don't go there for 15 days, six, 5 people will call you. Depending on your very good friend circle, 500 might call you. Then you don't go for a month. See how many of them call you. They'll call you like it will be 3 or 4 at max because I did not have a very big circle. Then two, three after 2 months, 3 months. What you'll find out after going back, everything is mixed. Nothing as before. The people you might be seeing in a group might shift to something else. The people you're starting seeing that okay, ये इससे बात नहीं कर रहे, they might become best friends. Perfect example of Generation Z. Simple. It's not about you, it's about them. They need time to do things. They need to satisfy their mental needs, their attention taking span. They need to understand. Simple. You're doing a job, you're being loyal at that thing. People care, people don't care because they are not people of your domain. You pull up with an entrepreneur, he might sit with you for a year. That doesn't matter. If you both are having a good mindset, if your group has a good mindset, they'll stay with you regardless of it. It is very simple. Don't get affected if a lot of pressure is coming for a good party, a good hangout, or anything. You can do that in the time which you are specified to do it for. And if you go back, honestly, they are with you because they are your classmates. If you don't go in the class, they are not your classmates anymore. If you are in an incubation center, your co-incubatees will become your people for that particular time. The people who are true friends, they'll still call you, they might help you. The mentors who are with you, they might stay for life if you are still in that field or you have done something good. So it is very important to understand. It depends on what kind of relation you build at a longer time. That stays and that doesn't stay.
Yeah. So, in your journey, how has internships helped you so far? As a college student, did internships make an impact on the kind of work you were doing? What did you like more, the academics part of the engineering or the internships part of the thing?
Honestly, I never did an internship. Instead, I'll tell you what I did in terms of internships. When I was in seventh, I got a college PC. Okay, simple college PC, which I wrote specifications down. I went at my home. I asked my parents to get that. Although I had a good computer, but they were not able to get it. Primary reason, घर पे बैठ के गेम खेलेगा नहीं देना. So what I did was I started studying how to upgrade this PC into that gaming PC. So simple, my parents sent me into a computer shop who was managed by a very simple relative of us. So I used to break that PC again and again just to go and see how that people repaired it. The person understood very quick. I went to him, I just told him, teach me how to do it. I might help you able with mining. There is a new trend of mining going on when the Bitcoin jump happened, right? So going to some place you love, checking what people do was internship for me in that computer shop. So instead of taking something, I did not know this is an internship. But I used to go there for months and months. I used to learn a lot. I used to do work for them. They used to teach me thousands of stuff. And that's how things went. For example, I was sitting in this incubation center at my second year or third year just to understand these 3D printing things, just to understand what machines these are. In the day, this might get me into a lot of trouble if they see this. At the day, I used to help these people and I used to study. At night, I used to open those machines and put them down. That is also an internship for me. So I did not actually go and formally do an internship in my life. I used to go sit in organizations, learn how organization works. I used to learn from the lowest level of hierarchy to the highest level of hierarchy. What is the personality difference in people? What is the job profile they do and how a person can screw up others' job. That is what I used to saw and that was basic gossip for me. So that's how I learned. So honestly, I don't have an internship certificate ever. Would be the lowest ranked intern ever existed in my classroom. But yeah, that's what I did.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
It has been a great experience. I cannot express how happy and how profound the responses were.